All right. So how old is Elsa?
10 weeks today.
10 weeks today. All right. And you guys called me because I'm a non-force trainer. I do a lot of bonding methods. My methodology is based on theology of canine social play, and also I work with the vomer nasal organ, which is a chemical signal reader on the top of your dog's mouth. And you know, on the top of your mouth, when you put your tongue up there, it's soft. Well, right in that region, your dog has a vomer nasal organ. You have one too, but yours doesn't do much for you. It's like an appendix or something, right? We don't really need those. We don't really use it. But dogs do. You know how dogs have really good smell? Mm-hmm. Well, when you're sick, Elsa's going to know that you're sick. Or when you're unhappy, she's going to know when you're unhappy. And have you ever disappointed your parents?
No.
No?
Never.
Well, you have? Did you feel really bad when you really disappointed them? How did you feel when they were mad at you? Not as bad? Not as bad, and you did it anyhow, and then you got in trouble some more? You know what I'm talking about? Well, when she does something wrong, and that's a great word to use, because I don't teach commands, I teach action words. And if you narrate your dog's life, and you mark every action with a word, like when her butt hits the ground, sit. You say it as the action occurs now in training. So when she's older, you can say sit, and she'll go, oh, that means butt on the ground. Every time you walk out the back door, say outside. Every time you walk inside, say inside. When my dogs go to the bathroom, I say hurry up. So I was on the trail yesterday, and Summer was sniffing around. She pulls way off to the right of the trail, and I know she has to go to the bathroom. Well, she was trying to pick a spot, and I just started saying, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, and both of them pooped on request. And I call them, you know, because I call them action words, I request an action to happen with the use of the word I associate with it. So if I say inside, my dogs are in the backyard, they come running inside because they know what inside means. They understand it. I create flexible thinking dogs that know how to problem solve. And one of the first things she's going to learn is how to sit. And when a dog sits, it's an appeasement gesture. A lot of dogs, if they don't know what to do and they're looking at you, they'll just sit. Because they know we like it when they sit. They learn to be calm when we mark calm moments. And the puppy's going to go through a whole bunch of growing, like every day, like, you know, an inch taller. Like imagine waking up next week and you're 6 inches taller. That would feel weird. Your bones would be all stretched out. Well, she's going through that, where your knuckles move. The cartilage in between those, there's these miniature gaps that are slowly closing and building and forming into cartilage. So she can't really handle too many hard walks, and especially with the summer months coming, if you could put your hand on the pavement or walk barefoot, then so can your dog. If you can't, then she shouldn't either. Okay. And by putting booties on our dogs doesn't really help for hot surfaces, because they can self-regulate their heat 3 ways: through panting, through their paw pads, they'll stand in a pool, or through their chest. You ever see a dog dig at water? Some of those dogs are cooling themselves off by splashing water on their chest like we do on our face, because they don't have pores. And she's real calm, she's real good, she's going to be attentive. You know, she's a little sleepy from her nap, so it's good to just go over, you know, the methodology we can all use as a unit, as a family. Because, I mean, my personal thing, and I understand when people call, you know, I'm adding a dog to my pack. I just don't say that, but I would be adding a dog to my team because I'm really, really active. Oh, you're sweet.
She is
So, I mean, good things to do. This is marking calm moments. So, you know, good girl. Mark the calm moments, you know. Easy or calm. Or some people will say gentle, but then that gets associated with her teething. So her teething is going to happen a lot.
Yes.
And it's because all her teeth are constantly, all at once, being forcibly pushed out by her adult teeth. So think of the worst toothache you've ever had with her, and you've ever had yourself. It's like that constantly. Growing pains plus teeth ache, you know, constant teeth ache. So a good thing you can do is take some face cloths, like 3 of them, and you know, wet them, wring them, throw them in a Ziploc, throw them in the freezer. you know, like 3 of them, and while she's here, if this was the frozen one, you know, you just monitor her and don't let her chew on a wet rag, just the frozen one. Take it away after a minute. But that'll help numb her teeth, like if you ever had toothache, Ambisol, or even an ice cube will work in desperation. I've had, you know, a bad one. I had an abscessed tooth once, so that, you know, makes sense to me. When your tooth is loose, remember that stuff when you're younger and that sort of felt uncomfortable? That's why she's all mouthy, because you remember playing with your tooth when it was loose, right? She's doing the same thing, but she's using your hands. So a good thing to do is to teach her touch, which she seems a little distracted by. And it's good to like handle a dog like this really gently, you know, so you can do weird things. If you got to check her for an injury, you want to roll her. I don't want to pin a dog or anything, but I do want to I want to play with her paws just for a little bit. She doesn't like it. A couple of seconds at this age is good, because eventually I'm gonna have to trim her claws. So I like to rub the paw pads and pretend, all right, I'm done, and then pet her and say, good girl, Elsa, you did good. And then, you know, dogs have 200 nerve endings in their ears. So this is a really good place to calm a dog down or give them a lot of extra love. And I'm just doing it very gently. And it's, you know, that's all you really do. I mean, there's the Allen stuff thing too, but I'll work with the mouth, and she's getting a little hyper now, so I'm not gonna force her or flood her to do this, but I'm gonna massage her gums. I'm just going to do it really briefly now, but at other calm times, when she's not getting, you know, it's better to engage a toy with her. You girls can play monkey in the middle, and Elsa's the monkey. Throw it over her head. Just throw it over to each other, and then throw it, and see what she does. But just massage her then around her mouth, so every experience... Every experience, even if she creates one to start with the mouthing and stuff, make it the best possible experience. So redirect to a frozen thing, right away.
Right.
And just...
to chew toys. But she does stick to her chew toys a lot.
Good. Well, if that's successful, too. I mean, that's just a bonus thing.
Yeah,
I mean, whatever you find that works,
too. She does. She likes her toys.
Her favorite is probably this. The baseball. Probably.
Yeah.
She chewed it up already.
I'm a little less in favor of stuffs, because that equals the couch cushion later on. And that equals Uggs. I mean, it's good that she has a dog bed. If she enjoys that, great. That's wonderful. She has a good spot to go to. But orthopedically, puppies, they don't really need it. It's good for them. But you ever see people on Facebook or something, and the dog that they're crate training, and the dog bed is tore up again? I mean, there's companies that have lifetime guarantees. You can find those, but the puppy doesn't really need that. A blanket will work.
She's always sleeping on the floor.
Yeah, well, they like the cool tile. It feels good because they can lay their chest on it and cool down. It's comfy. But you know, that's some of the basics. Do you have any questions?
I guess our main thing we've been trying to work on is getting her to go only out there.
Okay.
And
Not the toe.
what I found was she doesn't seem so thrilled with the little treats. So I think just yesterday we cooked up a little steak. We cut it up into little pieces, hoping that just a little piece of steak when she goes outside.
Yeah, I don't preach a raw diet, but I love feeding my dogs raw. You know, you could have concerns about having young children, but they're not really young, and
So would you say
you probably,
raw than cooked?
well, as one of my colleagues puts it, if you can cook for yourself, you can cook for your dog. You can make a homemade diet too and make it cooked. I like just feeding raw. There's more nutrients to it.
We made it rare, but we did cook it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. If that's what works for you, that's what works for you. I just don't really trust kibble. I mean, corporate kibble at all. Yeah, for the most part. I know some boutique places like Red Hook used to be before they sold to Budweiser. You know, like microbrews. There's people that are doing it, and those conditions in the factories are super clean. And you know, there are some, but you know, I just take a raw diet. And I like rotating it. Met a guy who had stuff from sport, and I was like, do you ever have extra? And he's like, yes. And I'm like, well, please call me. And it'll be great to get grass-fed, no hormone meat.
Right.
So, I mean, there's that. So finding treats that work for her. You can also, I thin slice, when chicken breast is on sale for like $1.99 a pound, I get a bunch, throw them in the freezer, and every once in a while I thin slice them, and I put them on a rack in the oven for about 7 or 8 hours at 175 degrees, depending on how thick they are. I turn the oven off, let them cool, and I cut them up with scissors in little itsy bitsy, tiny weeny pieces. Because when you're giving treats to your dog, it's just because you love them. When in training, they're rewards for accomplishing something. So you want them very small, so not like chomp, 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 chomp.
Okay.
And right now she might be a slow eater, but if you find that right thing, then that's perfect.
Okay.
And try that. It's good that you can make your jerky at home. It's clean.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, just homemade stuff. I trust it a lot more. My dogs are super healthy from it. And
Sorry.
no, it's that little pen. And these things are great. They're great containment systems.
For now.
Yeah.
She's learning.
That's the basis of it. In my bag, I brought one of the semi-slip collars, which you can get for her now. We could fit it to her size, but they last for years. They go to full tight. Like, say you were going to fall over and just put out your arm like this and come towards me. I would just grasp you.
Okay.
I wouldn't squeeze like a slip collar or anything else. I would just support you. And I wouldn't get you like, half and like catch you this way because you might slip out of my grasp. So, like
and
loose
that's
collar.
good for training them or just for walking?
It's great for all around. Some dogs take to them for training. I like to work not just with, I try to avoid the neck. There's a lot of, highly
We got her
important things in there.
the harness for the outside because I was worried about her getting
A
out
step
of
in, yeah, these mesh ones are a little stretchy and stuff.
Okay.
So they should really be about like, 1 finger tight, like to the body, so it moves with the skin.
Okay.
And not just rubs around the fur. But this is good for her now. She's just a wee little thing.
Yeah.
And if you out on walks, like keep her close, then it'll be an easier transition. And we'll work with that together.
Okay.
This is just sort of general overview stuff. That's
Just to
basically
get
it.
us started.
Yeah, just to think about like why I teach action words over commands is because I think I can name about 20 commands my dogs know, but I can name 80 plus words my dogs know. Because I'm always, I call Summer cakes, I call her baby cakes, I call her, just all her nicknames. She knows all those words. And, inside, outside, that's not like a generalized, typical command. Good girl. So even if you seize opportunities, like right now as she crouched, yeah, if you said sit, exactly. So you're onto it. You get it. It's if you really just narrate her life, and everybody uses the same words. It's not sit down, because there's sit and down is for laying down, and it's not when she jumps on you. Don't say down, say off, because you want her off you.
Okay.
You want her off the couch.
So we're going to
Yeah, we'll put a list on the fridge so we all use the same words.
Make our own little dictionary. You can be in charge of that, Shannon. You're good at doing that.
Cool.
You'll do the dictionary.
You're the creative
I
one?
have a question.
Excellent.
Yes. Go to your
Ask your question.
I read a book.
Okay.
And it said that a way you could train your dog to sit is you hold a treat and you keep saying sit without stopping, and finally when they do sit, you give them the treat and you say sit, sit, sit.
That's kind of like what Paul was
doing
saying.
that.
When we
Yeah, I'm
catch her
saying
doing
that,
it
but
naturally.
when you catch her sitting, if you say sit, and I can show you with lure-based training, which is part of, I'm a non-force dog trainer, and that's the tree. And one branch is positive reinforcement. Another aspect or branch is lure-based training, where you guide them with something of interest. It could be a toy, it could be a treat, it could be a squeaky sound, but she's crashed out, so I can't really get her attention. You know what the real art of dog training is? I consider it an art form, and dogs are my medium. It's to get a dog to pay attention to you, so you don't have to pay attention to the dog. So you learn how to communicate with each other, either verbally or through hand signals, and then you can do anything. Anything you could think of doing with a dog. I know people that jump out of airplanes with their dogs. My dogs pull me on skis. down trails. They've pulled me over 30 miles an hour.
It's the goal, right? Get rollerblades and have
Yeah.
go rollerblading with her and have
And we go kayaking and stand-up paddleboarding and everything. Drive-in movies. I haven't yet got mastered teaching them how to bowl though. So no bowling, and they can't fit in the shoes.
Their paws don't fit in the bowl.
But that's good. Read lots of books and learn from as many people as you can. Information is great, and then you find out what works for you because every dog's an individual.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. You know, this is our first husky. This is our first dog as a family. We've had dogs before we had children. So far, she's been good the last 2 weeks, but I think we were anticipating a very hyper dog. And then she has her moments of jumping around, and she's quick, but she's a lot more mellow than I had anticipated.
Excellent.
Yeah, we're not complaining.
Bonus.
Not complaining.
Yeah. So a lot of people have difficulty marking the calm moments. Yep. But when your dog's not doing anything, maybe you think about the life of your dog as like a circle, and half of it is yes, and half of it is no. Basic 50-50 life. That's not bad. So, but some puppies, or any dogs being trained or being rehabilitated or whatnot, sometimes the no section becomes a little bit bigger than the yes because they're being corrected a lot. Mm-hmm. So when your dog's not doing anything, it's really good to mark that moment when they're calm and just laying there and go, good girl, and walk right by her. Mm-hmm. Just like, hey, I like your nails. They're pretty. Did you paint them yourself? No? All right. Well, and you got a beautiful smile. You're welcome. Isn't it nice to get compliments? So give your puppy compliments. And this petting is bonding. It's great. Just hook her up with a good girl. A couple bonus ones. And I'm sure you do, just because you love her. Yeah. But when you are doing that,
she remembers.
Well, you're making that yes section the bigger section. And that's what we want out of life. The best possible experience. Every time you take her somewhere, just, make it the best possible experience. Good gear that keeps her secure, a good fenced backyard. There's 4 things to say about dog training too. A good loving home,